Policies on Educational Vouchers. Is a Voucher System Fair? By Scott Gold. POS 303, February 20th, 2012. Introduction. Voucher Policy Overview. Americans hear a great deal about the state of our public education in this country. But while a 1992 Gallup poll found Americans ready to embrace bold new educational ideas, it also found them hesitant to trust politicians to enact reform. There has been numerous new school products that have come out of this educational reform movement. Schools of choice, magnet schools, and of course educational voucher systems. Educational vouchers would allow parents to use tax dollars to fund their child's education at their school of choice, public or private. The arguments that have erupted from school voucher plans have mostly come from the American public school system and the organized private school entities. Introduction continued. Policy formation. Along with the educational free market debates coming from the school body, political parties are divided along the lines on the correct relationship the American government system should have on the educational realm. In an effort for us to better understand the debates and players in the voucher arguments, we will look at institutional as well as group theory of policy analysis to decipher how this issue is being decided on and exactly who is making decisions on this issue. Background. Voucher system players. Some areas of the United States have already adopted voucher systems to allow for parents to make a larger choice in their children's education. A national system of vouchers was proposed as early as 1950 by Milton Friedman, which would give parents the ultimate decision in their child's education. One of the largest opponents of the school voucher choice has been and will remain the organized public school system. In as far as the school board's ability to affect policy change, or should I say prohibit it, comes directly from its establishment as a nationally run governmental agency. Teacher labor unions are also highly motivated to maintain the current system of public schools, which rely heavily, if not completely, on tax dollars and lack of competition of those tax dollars. The National Democratic Party has also been a general strong supporter of a public school system. Background continued. Those in favor of voucher systems which would allow the parents the freedom to use tax dollars at their choice are the private school entities. The largest and most organized of these institutions is the Catholic Church-run schools. Their policy tool relies solely on the group dynamic of the church organization. The Catholic Church has always been known as a political powerhouse and is able to influence a large congregation towards a political idea. In contrast to the Democratic support of public schools, the Republican Party is more likely to be in favor of school voucher systems, which supports their ideas of free markets and lessening role in government in educational affairs. Along with the private educational groups are the elite or upper middle class of voters. This group, who prefers a private or religious foundation for education, would like to see their tax dollars used to fund their choice of education. Public school arguments. The supporters of a continued public education-run system offer many arguments. If parents were given the choice to take their money to private schools, who then would pay for the public school system? The public school sector points to the ability of private schools also to deny enrollment of unwanted or troublesome students. Public systems must and always do accept any students and often have extra expenditures tied to the special adaptations for non-standard students. At a national level, it is argued that giving funds to religious-based schools are in direct violation of the Constitution's separation or non-establishment of religion clause. Public school opponents give examples of how private school systems do not have to meet national standards which were established during the Bush administration's No Child Left Behind, as well as the educational requirements for teacher position in these institutions. Public school arguments continued. Many public educators argue that studies do not show an improvement in test scores or achievement from the competitive marketplace, and point to the disruption in administration that competition would put on a standardized education system. The current increase in success in private school system academics, according to public advocates, comes from the direct social economic classification that occurs within a private school system. Public proponents argue that the success rates of these private schools would diminish if equal enrollment quotas were established. Voucher systems under the current levels proposed often will not cover the entire private school cost. Therefore, children in lower income brackets, although given the choice, would once again be not able to attend private schools due to the cost. Private school arguments. Leading the debate for voucher systems, private school entities' arguments focus on the perceived educational improvements and freedom of choice movements. Private schools point out the advantages of a free market system in which all schools, private and public, would compete for educational dollars under the voucher system. Pro-private school entities and politicians point to the rights of the parents to choose how their tax dollars are spent in reference to education. Educational voucher proponents also claim that under this system, a competitive system would also apply to the level of teacher qualifications. Voucher proponents argue against the premise of segregation under a voucher system, stating that segregation already exists and is more defined in our current public school system. Discussing problem schools and how they should be fixed, the proponents give example of a free market system where failing schools would be eliminated under this voucher system. Private school arguments continued. Often job loss in public school systems under a voucher system is considered a major downfall. Proponents suggest that school teachers will be in high demand in a voucher system, and those who do not qualify or perform will be eliminated. Republican Party politics on the stance of vouchers centers on their beliefs in a free market system. A large portion of the GOP's push comes in the form of a reduction in governmental size and bureaucracy. The Republicans would like to see a larger choice for parents in education, as well as a competition against established public school entities. Alongside the Republicans' fight in the upper middle class to elite group of citizens who pose to divert their tax dollars in support of public education for the poor to the control of educational establishments of their choice. Alternatives examined. Although the established public school system is not in favor of vouchers, they often state their ability to compete dollar for dollar with the private school system given the same rules and standards to which they must comply. This would refer to their class size, teacher requirements, and mission policies and educational standards to be met. On the political front, Democrats would propose an answer to our educational system that would call for improvement of our current public policy system. This group would like to see a wider movement on accountability for teachers, students, and parents in our children's education. Democrats and public school officials would like to see an increase in spending on current public educational programs as well as expansion of the public school choice programs. Republicans offer an open free market approach to the educational system. This group would like to see large cuts in governmental controlled public institutions and greater parental control in educational dollars. Republicans state that their voucher system would offer the greatest advantage to lower income population in giving them the opportunity to seek private education. The alternatives to voucher system debate center around what is already currently available in a school choice. Without the establishment of a fair play and fair standards in education, neither side will be able to give into the voucher system. Recommendations. I believe in a system where underprivileged children should be given a better option in the current educational choice. If vouchers were approved, not all would qualify, but rather on an as-needed basis. An increase to current public education programs is needed whether vouchers are approved or not. Virtual school, magnet school, and charter schools all give options to parents under the current public education programs. An increase in teacher and administrative accountability would also increase the success of these programs. Recommendations continued. Public schools need to continue a campaign to educate parents on the school choices that are available to them. And as far as policy process goes in the voucher debate, without an extreme change in the public school systems and in any way private schools are regulated, we will only see a slight policy shift according to which parties are in charge of the legislative process at a current time. If we are to see drastic improvements in public school systems, I believe the issues would be silenced.